half an hour or so. Matty, another win. That Leicester have done their jobs again today.
Yeah, I think the scoreline in some ways flattered Leicester in terms of getting the 4, but we said at the beginning of the show, Blackburn poor defensively, concede goals, and Leicester punished them. The goals were sort of similar. Fast from obviously a corner, set play. Vestergaard wins the penalty for the 3rd, and in between, Leicester just had that quality on the counter-attack and exposed it with Vardy's finish and then Keenan at the end. But I think Blackburn, decent team going forward, dominated much of the ball, especially early parts of the second period, but never really threatened the Leicester goal. Leicester looked more solid defensively. I think there was only once Hermansen was called into action, and then really punished on the counter, showed the quality. Once the game opened up, Leicester punished, and that's what they can do without being at the scintillating best. They've gone and away from home, scored 4, and it just looks to the rest of the table. There's a gap opened up at the top, and to the others, they must think it's going to be some going to catch Leicester or get close to them, because they've just blitzed another team who aren't a bad team in all fairness, and challenged Leicester for most of the game.
Ewan?
I agree with everything Matty said. It's a great win. I think the scoreline looks slightly harsh on Blackburn. When you think Leicester had 4 shots on target, scored 4, showed that ruthlessness that we know the lads have got in them. Massive save at 2-1 from Hermansen. You know, we sort of not criticised, sort of probably made an observation with the goal that we gave away in the 8th minute. Was he at fault? Is it a poor decision by him? And I think it was to do what he did. But it's a massive save at 2-1. You know, if that Travis shot goes in, it's 2-2, and anything can happen. But then the lads showed their quality. You know, we've spoken about the pace that they have in key areas going forward. Counter-attacking, scored a great counter-attacking goal at Southampton, at Norwich, at Liverpool in midweek. Another one today with the Dewsbury home on the 4th, which was the icing on the cake. 100% record away from home, 15 goals scored in 5 away games. And it is, I can only imagine the rest of the Championship, Dan, looking at this result and thinking, Leicester have done it again. You've gone away from home, won the game comfortably by the looks of the scoreline, and they are the team to beat. You know, I wouldn't say negatives. You know, Vestergaard picked up his 5th booking. He's going to miss Preston on Tuesday on Wednesday night. He's been magnificent. You know, after that Hermansen save, they have another opportunity to do Blackburn. It's a magnificent block from Yannick Vestergaard. And you've got to feel for young Casey McAtee. He'd only been on the pitch 17 minutes when he made that darting run down the left-hand side, and he just feels that. I think it's his right hamstring, which, you know, could, if it's a bad one, it could keep him out for a while. Hopefully, he's only sort of slightly felt it, and it won't be too long. But those are the only 2 real sort of sad notes that I can think of. It's been a really good, positive Sunday afternoon. Although saying that, I do think Leicester can play better, and that's a daft thing to say when they've gone there and won 4-1.
Yeah, I mean, well, Matt Elliott was actually there. I wonder if it felt a little bit different, Matt, from either watching it live to watching it on television. Obviously, I don't know. Do you agree with Ewan?
Yeah, no, I concur with the chaps pretty much on every point. I think I was sort of questioning myself because that's how I saw it. I thought, hang on, am I just being a bit of a miserable old critic, really, because I've had to get up early on a Sunday morning and travel up here. I'm being a bit grumpy. But, you know, when you look at the scoreline, even at 2-1, but, you know, 3-1, 4-1, and you're sort of underwhelmed a little bit at times because you know how close the game was in periods. But ultimately, I said that from the off, ultimately I feel that Leicester will prevail, or one way or another, because they do have that extra quality, that extra bit about them, individually and as a team. But they're not playing at full throttle, which in itself is even more intimidating for the rest of the teams in the Championship, because they're sitting pretty at the top of the league. just drop the points in one game, and they're not in top gear. They're nowhere near it. Occasionally, yes, but there's a lot more to come from this team, I think. And I think the players know that, and I think the opposition know that.
You were at the St Mary's, weren't you, Matt, a few Fridays ago? Obviously, that was 4-1. It's finished 4-1 today. Do you think they were more impressive that evening than they were this afternoon? Was today just more about getting the result and doing the job today?
Listen, it's hard to be critical and, in any form. Going away from home and winning 4-1. If ever that happened to me in my career, I would not want to hear any sort of negativity from any quarter. So I'm going to have to limit it. But no, it's not a backhanded compliment, really, saying they've got better in them. High expectations of these players and as a group, and it's good to have that. But at the end of the day, they've won 4-1. No, it's a different sort of performance today. It wasn't as sort of swashbuckling, although Blackburn bombing forward and tried to make a real entertaining game of it. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. And as Matt has mentioned, second half, I thought not asking for trouble, but they're giving Blackburn the opportunity to get back in the game. And if they had a bit more finesse about them, they might well have done that. But fine lines and all that, it's very rarely an absolute cruise from start to finish, is it? But the extra quality is there. And but the other thing is as well, they're churning out performances as well. There's 2 a week at the moment. It's hard to play anywhere near your maximum week in, game out. And listen, they're getting the job done, and that's a good ability to have as well, is to be able to win games in different ways. And they're pretty resourceful at the moment.
That's what teams who either win titles or gain promotions, that's what they do. They win games sometimes when they've maybe not been at the best, and today they made it look really comfortable in the end.
They did. It's a scary proposition to think that you've gone away from home, won 4-1 against a decent attacking team, and we're sort of nitpicking at little areas where the team can improve, get better in certain areas. Even today, decision making in the final third at times. Question marks about maybe gifting them a goal. But it just feels as if there's even more to come. And that's not being disrespectful to the other teams in the league. Go away to Southampton, Norwich, good side. Beat Birmingham yesterday comfortably at home. Bristol different because you are at home. But just getting big scorelines, wins. And when you look at it from the outside or people looking in at the league table, you're just thinking Leicester are far superior, far better. And there's still more to come. And we're seeing them going away and winning comfortably in the end, as the scoreline suggests, without being at the full maximum. But you're not always going to get that, and there's still a class above. They just have them little moments or that little bit of energy. We spoke about that pre-game in terms of the midfield, the gaps open up, and to be fair to Wilfred Ndidi and Keenan Dewsbury Hall, they made the most of that, especially with the runs first half from Wilf, second with the energy, and then Keenan as well. So they've just got that quality, and with the changes, Blackburn were missing a few players. It looks more evident amongst them where they don't have a recognised forward to come in, as Leicester have an international player to come on to score a penalty after another international player's just come off and at one point looked like going to be the match winner. So it's just where they're at in terms of, but you've got to also be respectful of the other teams, but Leicester still look like they've got even more gears, and we're going on about this after a 4-1 win away from home, and they're looking in a great position at the minute.
Yeah, hopefully Ewan will hear from Enzo Maresca during our post-match show, but you imagine he'll be very pleased this afternoon with yet another 3 points, as we've been saying.
Another 3 points away from home, 8 wins in 9 championship games, and a new manager at the football club. A lot of sort of players left the club in the summer. A lot of new players came in. They've settled really well. We said before, Dan, it's the first time it's ever happened in the championship where a team has won 8 of their opening 9 games. It's a historical day for the football club. I don't want to go over the top because, as we know, games come thick and fast. But I think they're showing more consistency than any other team in the championship. they've got more strength in depth than any other team in the league, and I think that showed today with the players that were taken off and the players that were brought on. The players that were brought on impacted that second half. You know, it's a tough proposition for any team that are going to face Norwich Leicester this season, and it's a daunting task. It really, really is, and it's still early days, only 9 games in, but I mean, such positive vibes in these opening 9 games.
Absolutely. Let's hope that continues on Wednesday, of course, against Preston. Still to come here on Matchday Live on Fox's Hub. We'll talk about that game coming up with Preston on Wednesday, and we'll also hopefully get some reaction live from Ewood Park.
Who wants to join me? Shopping at King Power. 3-day, 2-night stay booked. See ya.
To the rooftop bar.
To snap a photo for my IG.
To eat the famous pad thai.
The new collection is calling me.
Sure, there's a perfume I want. Let me ask my sis.
Yes, of course I'm going. Leicester City, Fox never quit.
Let's go. It's possible because King Power is more than just duty-free. Shop latest trends in beauty and gadgets. Your coolest staycation. The legendary pad thai. Best street food in town. A place to support your team, a fancy dinner, enjoy shopping at downtown stores and online, or even the thrill of a new experience. Explore your everyday possibilities. The power of possibilities. King Power.
The new season's nearly here and the opinions are getting stronger.
We've got serious pulling power now.
What? To get the top 2 players now?
Aye?
It's like I've been saying, if he settles the squad, we'll be back on top.
Only this time we're going for the quadruple.
You are joking, aren't you?
The time for talk is nearly over.
With over £4 million in free bet giveaways and huge price boosts, kick off your season with Sky Bet. That's betting better.
You're built different. Breathing new life into broken. Taking matters into your own hands. Assembling big dreams from the small things. Never stopping until you find the right part at the right price. That's the eBay way.
Hello, football fans. This is a smart meter display. It helps you tackle energy usage, manage your spending, and keep you on target. Now that's a hat trick. Search Get a Smart Meter today.
The new season's nearly here and the opinions are getting stronger.
We've got serious pulling power now.
What? To get the top 2 players now?
Aye?
It's like I've been saying, if he settles the squad, we'll be back on top.
Only this time we're going for the quadruple.
You are joking, aren't you?
The time for talk is nearly over.
With over £4 million in free bet giveaways and huge price boosts, kick off your season with Sky Bet. That's betting better.
Welcome back to Matchday Live here on Fox's Hub, following yet another Leicester City victory. That's a 100% record away from home so far this season, and the Foxes are top of the league. Hopefully still to come. We'll get some reaction from Ewood Park. Before that, though, Matt, let's pick out who you were most impressed with this afternoon on Sunday. Who did you give your man of the match to?
Well, I ended up belatedly giving it to Dewsbury Hall, and I might need some reassurance from the boys on that one. But I just thought he was a big factor in the game. His quality wasn't always there, but ultimately it came to the fore with his goal. There were a number of times he just broke forward so impressively, broke up play, and then he was driving into space. And I mentioned Adam Wharton, who was very impressive, particularly early on for Blackburn, the young left-footed midfielder. But as the game went on, he struggled to deal with Dewsbury Hall, really. Not just him, Blackburn in general. And I thought he was constantly sort of taking Leicester up the pitch and putting them in good positions, situations, not always capitalising on them as well as he might do. But eventually he got his just reward, and I think, and that at the time I was thinking of giving it to Vestergaard. I thought, as Ewan mentioned, there were vital blocks on a couple of occasions, decent in possession, if a little bit ponderous at times, but that's the nature of the way Leicester play. But Harry Winks, neat and tidy, exemplary as ever, the majority of the time. And but Dewsbury Hall, he was the real, as he regularly is, the real driving force behind Leicester.
Matt, I'm just going to interrupt you though, Matt, now, because you can probably see pitch side. John Dunn is with Enzo Maresca with some live reaction.
That's who's coming next. Okay. Enzo, congratulations. How do you summarise yet another Leicester City win?
Important win, probably I just said the most important win because of the opponent. They are really tough opponent. They play very well. They bring many players inside, so it's difficult to face this kind of team. And to be honest, happy because off the ball we work together, we sacrifice to help each other, and on the ball we had some good moment. Probably we lost a bit confidence because the goal we concede. It's normal for a team that try to play in one way, in the way we want to play, but very happy for the 3 points today.
You scored early again. It's a very nice habit to have, to try and settle yourself into a game.
Yeah, we try to score since since we start the game. Sometimes happen at the beginning, sometimes happen at the end. But yeah, I'm to be honest, I'm very happy today because it was a tough game. We knew already, and also I think it was great for the fans, because some of them, they were a lot, many of them. It's always a pleasure to see our fans away. Some of them, they start the journey very early in the morning, so it's been a good day. Tough game, but very happy.
The second goal, so much to admire, the passing, the speed of the break. What about that finish from Jamie Vardy?
Yeah, but Jamie, we expected this from Jamie, so I'm not surprised, absolutely. So happy for Jamie, happy for Kale, and then because the striker at the end always didn't goal. Happy for Keenan, also he scored. So complete performance.
Second half, Blackburn had more of the ball, but you talked about the work the team did out of possession, never really threatened.
Yeah, second half, probably the first 10-15 minutes we drop a lot. Then for the 25 minutes, half an hour, we come back to press higher, and we were very good.
5 wins from 5 away from home. Must be very pleasing, that record.
Yeah, happy, very happy, but to be honest, in this moment, win at home or win away, important are always the 3 points.
4 goals again away from home, but 4 different goal scorers. How pleasing is that as a manager to see everyone kind of chipping in?
Yeah, happy because it's important to score a goal. And in this kind of the game, because the opponent was very tough, it's even more important.
Last word on those fans, you mentioned them, 2 long trips this week. They didn't stop singing throughout, and you gave them something to cheer.
Unbelievable, fantastic, to be honest. We play last 5 games, we play 4 games away and just 1 at home. And away, in some moment, we look like we are playing at home. I always said that I would like to have the same environment at home. And now, please, Wednesday, it's a big game for us. We need all the fans there supporting the team. Doesn't matter the way we play, bad, good, but Wednesday it's a big game because it's game at home. So yeah.
Thanks, All the best. Thank you very much. See you soon.
That was Enzo Maresca there speaking to our commentator John Dunn. A very happy Enzo Maresca with a rallying cry as well to the Blue Army for Wednesday evening. Be as loud as they possibly can for that Preston game. Leicester could go 7 points clear of third place if they win on Wednesday. We'll come on to that in a moment. Let's concentrate though on today. It's a game at a time. That's what the cliche, Matty, isn't it? But he's clearly a happy man today, Enzo Maresca.
Yeah, he was happy, wasn't he? That was the word he used most often in that interview. But you could tell that he thought highly of a Blackburn team because they tried to play into the right way, sort of an Enzo Maresca style in terms of the intricate passing, the combinations, and Leicester did a job on them in the end. And just before Matt was cut short for obviously the manager going through the team, and you look at the spine of the team, you think Vestergaard, Wout Faes does always get mentioned, obviously scored the goal and tried to play on the front foot, particularly in the first half. Wilfred Ndidi, Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, their energy bursting through from midfield, and the clinicalness of Jamie Vardy up front. So the core of the team played well. They were solid throughout. So you look at that, and then obviously the wider players or the people on the wings fill those gaps in between. But you look at the core, they had a lot more than probably what Blackburn had, or a bit more quality in certain areas, or that ruthless doggedness to defend at important times, and then the quality when it goes forward.
You heard Enzo Maresca himself talk about the mistake, obviously, that led to the equaliser for Blackburn. He says it's going to happen. The way that Leicester play, the fans and us sat here, we all just have to get used to the fact that it will sometimes go wrong. But really, the grand scheme of things, it goes right way more often than not, and it can often create chances at the other end.
It's the way teams tend to play in this day and age, Dan. It's the way head coaches want their team to play. You know, pass out from the back, take risks, and I said at half time, I think Enzo will take full responsibility of that. You know, yeah, at times the players need to take a little bit more responsibility, because they're the ones out there playing. But, you know, to be fair to Herman, said he's trying to implicate what the manager wants him to do. You can't fault him for that. You know, it's still very, very early days. It is a process. The more games you play, the more... And the thing is, Dan, people don't realise, with so many games coming thick and fast, you don't get as much time on the training pitch as you would like. In the Premier League, it's totally different. I don't think you play the first midweek game until sort of early December. So you've got time to get your plan, get your process, you know, work on things. You haven't really got time in the Championship because games come thick and fast. And we will get better. You know, we will learn. Yeah, it was good to see Enzo Maresca coming out and taking responsibility, because that's his philosophy. That's the way he wants his team to play.
Yeah, and absolutely, that's the way they've been playing all season, and it's clearly working for the Foxes, who are still top of the Championship. That 3 points this afternoon, vital in doing that. They're 2 points clear of second place Ipswich, 4 clear of third place Preston at the moment, as we know. Then on Wednesday, if they win, they'll go 7 points clear of third. Let's go back up to Ewood Park. The goal scorer of the first goal, Wout Faes, is with John Dunn.
It will be a nice game. We can make a gap already, which is something we look forward to do, but we'll take the game as every week, and we'll see what it brings.
They're unbeaten away from home so far this season, so clearly shows the size of the task that's ahead of us.
Yeah, they're there for a reason. They're a good team, and we're going to prepare. It's short period before the game, but yeah, we'll see. Recover well and then get on to them.
They come into the game on the back of a heavy defeat, so could be a wounded team looking to quickly put things back together again.
Yeah, of course they will be willing to react, but yeah, we will be willing to win. So it'll be a nice game, as I say, and we'll take it as always, and hopefully a win.
After 2 away games, Liverpool and Blackburn, how pleased is it to be back at King Power Stadium, especially after the win against Bristol City?
Yeah, very nice. We love playing at home with the fans. It's always they push us forward, and that's a good thing. Away from home, we're doing very well too this season, but obviously at home is always nice.
As a defender, you'll have been pleased with the clean sheet against Bristol City. Looking for more of that now against Preston?
Of course, it helped the team, so hopefully, yeah.
Come into the game on the back of the win at Blackburn. We'll talk about the win later, but first of all, your first goal of the season. How pleased were you with that?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, finally. It took some time, but yeah, now looking for more.
And 4 goals away from home, 4 different goal scorers. It just shows how the goals have been spread around the team, which gives everyone a threat.
Yeah, of course, and also the guys who are on the bench and coming in, they make the difference, and that's what the manager asks, because obviously it's a lot of games in short periods, so we need everyone, and we're showing it now.
As a team and as a squad, are you now getting used to this 2-game-a-week routine that will be in the Championship?
I think so, but we have a big squad, so that's good. Everybody is fighting for the spot. There's no big differences in quality, and everybody's showing themselves in training, so it's harder for the manager, but I think that's what he likes.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
All the best. Thank you.
Cheers,
That was Wout Faes there speaking to our commentator John Dunn this afternoon. A very happy Wout Faes, Matt Elliott there, of course. His eyes must have lit up. That ball in from Abdul Fatawu was perfect, wasn't it?
Yeah, just seconds before that, Fatawu tried with a right-footed effort and got it wrong. I think that was caused the corner, didn't it, which Leicester tipped short, and then Fatawu whipping in a much better delivery with his more favoured left, and as Wout Faes was sort of alluding to there, his eyes lit up as the ball came across, and he did what was necessary. I think it was remiss of me not to mention him in the ever-growing list of players that performed pretty well today. Matty mentioned him. He was I was going to say steady. He was probably more than steady. He was quite classy out there today and seemed to have everything under control when it mattered, and a goal on top as well. So, good all-round performance from him. Would you expect, a player of his quality in this division? You can see there's a confidence about how he's playing, more so than it was last year, and he's really settling in and feels at home and has the backing of the manager as well, quite clearly. So impressive stuff from the Belgian.
Yeah, he'll be happy with his performance today, won't he? I'm sure.
He'll be delighted, not only with the goal, and when his centre backs come up for corners or free kicks, you want them to be on the end of it. We saw with the penalty decision for Yannick, the same thing, attacking the ball with purpose. But he'll be delighted with the goal. But generally, he offers that mobility and looks comfortable at times. Just looks like a Rolls Royce at Championship level in terms of how he can deal with centre forwards, covered across well in the second half, and he's grown all the time with it. And I think it helps when you've got someone alongside him who's aggressive as well, so he can just supplement that. He'll be pleased to get on the score sheet and then go again. And second half they were more than solid. I think there was, like I said, there was only one time where Hermson was called into action. It was more solid in terms of defensively. The gaps weren't as big. He'll be pleased. He'll be pleased with it.
Yeah, only his second Leicester City goal, Ewan, for Wout Faes. A little bit of a surprise that you'd think with his ability in the air, he might have got more. Hopefully we will see more this season.
I think both centre halves have been outstanding in both penalty boxes. Wout Faes with the opening goal on 3 minutes, textbook header, head it towards where it's come from. Yannick Vestergaard wins the penalty for the third goal, which sort of puts the final nail in Blackburn's coffin, if you like. But their performances in their own box, I was at the Leicester Norwich game, and they were outstanding on the night, putting their bodies on the line, blocking shots, heading things. They've both been top class, and once you get the taste of that goal scoring as a centre half, I'm sure Matty will tell you, you want more of that, and hopefully, especially at home, because results at home haven't been quite as convincing as what they've been on the road. Hopefully that will start on Wednesday when Preston come to visit the King Power.
Yeah, big game Wednesday, isn't it, Matty?
Yeah, big game, and obviously it will open up bigger gap if Leicester can go and achieve 3 points. Again, I think anyone who's coming into the King Power are going to sit in and make it really difficult. Leicester will have a lot of the ball, but they've got to be patient, and when the chance does come their way, can they go and finish? It'd be great to see Leicester get off to an early start, same again as today, and then you can really go and express themselves, as sometimes they've had to wait and sort of grind it out, and then when they've sort of run the other team down and got a goal later on. So if they can get an early goal, then the floodgates might open. But again, I'm sure Preston will come and try and be resilient and turn what was a bad performance at the weekend and make it difficult for Leicester.
Elsewhere in the WSL this afternoon, LCFC women playing their first game of the season. 26 minutes have been played at Bristol City. It's still 0-0 in that one. You can follow how that game goes on all of the social media accounts here at Leicester City. We've got plenty more coming your way on Fox's Hub over the coming week or so, of course. There is that game that Matty Fryer has just been speaking about on Wednesday evening against Preston. Big game. It's a 7:45 kickoff. That means we'll be live an hour earlier at 6:45. Before that, on Monday, of course, we've got extra time. That's tomorrow evening to talk about today's victory with Blackburn Rovers. And there's that podcast with Martin O'Neill, Matt Elliott and Jerry Taggart in conversation. Well worth a listen or a watch. It's also available on YouTube as well. Big thank you to Matt Elliott, who's made yet another away trip. Thank you to him, who's gone up to Ewood Park to witness another 4 goals on the road. Thanks to Matty Fryer for coming in and keeping me company in the studio, so we weren't alone. And we've got Ewan Roberts on Zoom. Thanks to you as well. Speak to you tomorrow, Ewan, on Extra Time on what's been another great day for Leicester City, who are top of the league by 2 points and have a 100% record away from home. Goodbye.